All right, we've got a severe problem with monitoring of the leaderboards, a severe problem with integrity of the game, and it's a joke. And we're talking about the Morgan Le Fay event. So we're going to talk about what's happening and why it's happened, if it can be fixed or not, and then what you can do about it. So we've got the leaderboard system coming in right here, and I believe that by legitimate means, with like insanely overpowered rosters, probably a realistic and a good score for this event is going to be 1.6 million, 1.5 million. I don't know. We're going to find out soon. But that looks like a possible score. And my understanding is that scores, over 2 million, 2.5 million are not possible at this time, giving, the level caps and the gear caps and the amount of stars you can get. It's just not possible to get a score that high. Let alone with, rosters that are small. We're talking like, if someone is going to be able to do this, they're going to have to need a, 20 million plus roster. So 1.2 million is not possible. We've got this one right here, 1 million. My goodness. Number in fourth place, we've got one that's 1.5 million. In fifth place, we've got another one that is 1.71. And this one makes me laugh the most. Right here, we've got 271,000. And so, I believe these are legitimate scores down here. And I think a very, very good score for this event will probably be in the 1.6, 1.5, 1.7 million range. And you can see here, this is probably the top legitimate score. And Fates Fury has a 32 million roster. So how do we get here? Because a lot of people on Reddit are saying things, well, just removing people from the leaderboards is not working. You need to stop the problem at its core, and that is the problem. So and I'm going to explain to you that this has been a problem since the beginning of this game coming out. This has been a problem since Galaxy of Heroes beginning came out, because this is pretty much just a clone of Galaxy of Heroes. The game is very, very similar in its framework. And what the problem is, and so we're going back a problem that I've personally known about since fall of 2015. Like, I feel like that anybody that knows half of anything that's involved in this game or been around it, let alone develops or create it, knows about this problem. And what it is that there is things that are handled on the server side and things that are handled on the client side. And the client side, I mean the phone. So, like, for example, inventory levels, your character shards, how many crystals you have in your account, how much gold. It pings the server. All that data is stored on the server and it's verified. And so if you go into the game files and give yourself 10 million crystals, it pings the server, and the server says, that's not right. You don't have any crystals, right? But there are times and things that are not pinged on the server. And I'll give you an example of it. And that's what we're going to talk about here, is that when you go into battle, it pings the server. But then when you're in battle, it doesn't ping the server at all. And you really wouldn't want it to ping the server, because it'd be super laggy. I mean, you play Blitz. How laggy is Blitz? On a bad day, it's really slow because it's constantly pinging the server, right? In the Blitz mode when you're simming. And you can actually play a battle in airplane mode. You start the match, go into airplane mode, and it's not going to need access to Marvel Strike Force servers until the end of the match. In fact, it'll hang sometimes if it can't get a hold of the server and you're waiting for the victory screen to come up. You're like, oh no, please don't lag out. Please don't lag out, because it pings at the end of the battle. And so what that means is that largely gameplay on this game is handled inside the phone, and there's a way for people to modify their client side, which I don't know that can be detected. It's literally on your phone, literally on the phone, and I don't know. And they can do ridiculous things, and I've never done it, but this is what I've heard from other people, is that you can do things like not be able to take damage and be able to do one-shot kills, right? And I think that's what's happening here with these people up here at the top, is that they're modifying their game files and they're able to have unrealistic battle situations where they can take in their very small team and it just one-shot kills everything, and they're immune to damage. Now, that has always been that way. It's always been that way that people have done that, but they've never incentivized people to do it. The events just simply didn't matter. Typically in the past, the events were set up in a way that you could only get into the event if you met the requirements. And frankly, these low-level accounts probably would have never met the requirements to get into the event. And if you met the event, if you met the requirements of the event, you just get in and you play the event and you get your rewards. And as long as you met the requirements and finished the battle, you got your rewards. Now, this is penalizing people that are playing the game legitimately because they're getting bumped down in tiers in the leaderboards because this is a leaderboard system. People can enter the event with no event requirements. As long as they've got Web Warriors and Dark Hunter at level 1, they can get into the event, right? They can play in the event. They actually could probably play the event with one Web Warrior. As long as they have one Web Warrior unlocked, one Dark Hunter unlocked, they can play Node 5. They can play Node 10. They can make them invincible. And they can do one-shot kills. It's just that simple, right? And the problem with that is that people are getting bumped down. Now, does it matter? Well, maybe, maybe not. Because here's the thing. The payout for this event is going to happen in 9 days and 7 hours. So as long as the leaderboard is clean in 9 days and 7 hours, then nobody's getting penalized. Now, the issue that I have with this entire leaderboard system is that I think that you and I can go through and look through the leaderboard and find people that are blatantly doing things that are wrong. But what about people that don't overdo it and aren't stupid about it? What if a person just boosts their attack levels on their account by 20% and increases their defense levels by 20%? And the battle outcomes look legitimate because it's still plausible that they could have won that battle with a high degree of skill. How can you detect that? I mean, it's kind of like in professional sports, you've got these world-class athletes, right, performing at world-class levels, and they just want to do a little bit better. So they do performance-enhancing substances, steroids, and things like that, and probably goes undetected, right? Because the results, they're already a world-class athlete. And so I don't know if there's a way of doing that. And I believe right here, they just cleaned up the leaderboard. You can see the leaderboard just got wiped. It sat that way for many hours, and I welcome that because, one of the things that the problems I have is, yes, we will be closely monitoring the leaderboards. I hope so, because it looked like this for hours, and now it's been fixed, right? But, why do you have a leaderboard when you know you have this problem? And because if they could have fixed it, they would have fixed it. They've had 4 years to fix it. If there was a solution to this problem that we're talking about, it would have gotten fixed in Galaxy of Heroes. It's not fixed there. That game's been out for 6 years. This game's been out for 4 years. It's not fixed. So why have a leaderboard? Why punish people that are playing the game correctly and make us fight? Now, I understand that leaderboards are not necessarily evil. I actually kind of like leaderboards in some ways. I mean, if we didn't have to deal with this other nonsense, but because it creates competitiveness, the developers like it because they can control the inventory levels, and they can give a fixed amount out in rewards. So they don't have to have too many people get the character because the vet was too easy, or too many people figured out the requirements early. But this here, they're actually able to isolate exactly how many people have. So there is good things to be about the leaderboards. But here's the thing. I told you so. We started talking about this at the end of February, early March. I made 7-8 videos in a row talking about leaderboards being bad if there's going to be exploits, cheats, and hacks. And it's not right. And yet, nobody over there did anything about it. I feel like, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this. Like, you've had a job where your boss was just not good at their job, and yet they were so arrogant and aggressive that people couldn't speak up and try to correct them. Like, everybody knows they're a problem, but they're on there. They've got a mission to do it a certain way, and they're not hearing anyone. I feel like there's somebody like that at Scopely, because obviously anybody with half a brain there, and I'm sure like most of the employees that work there understand this problem well. And they're telling somebody, don't do this. and the person just wasn't hit it. I very strongly believe there's somebody over there like that is incompetent and arrogant at the same time, probably overpaid, clearly, if they're allowing this to happen. So I'm not a fan. So here's the thing. Now, I know I've made these videos before, and I've been making games, and a lot of people say, well, we need to, especially free-to-play players, like they feel like they don't have a voice, and they feel like, well, the whales just keep spending, and nothing ever happens because people spend in the game. I don't think a lot of people understand what's really important to Scopely. There is an interview going back to 2020, and it's the CEO of Scopely, and not a lot of people watch this video. Like 600 people watched this video. I watched it because I'm interested in this kind of stuff, and he's talking about they acquired Foxnex and they acquired Marvel Strike Force, and the thing that he talks about the revenue being good, and then he says, the best month ever in April. And then he starts talking about what really impresses him and why Marvel Strike Force and the metric that they're most impressed with. We're going to play this right now.
And the thing about that business, those are kind of some kind of revenue numbers, but the most exciting thing about that business is that it is built around an incredible long-term retention curve. And we're talking about not just the 30, but really not just 180 days, but really kind of the 365. You see the kind of behavior of the players that kind of joined that game when it launched, and you see the behavior a year later, and it's just incredible how the level of kind of engagement and monetization has stayed incredibly kind of constant. And so, we believe that those are the kind of businesses that become extremely durable. We think of these businesses as kind of 10-year kind of opportunities. And when you have a retention curve like that, we believe that we can kind of really systematically kind of grow LTV and build.
You get the point. This guy is talking about the thing that single-handedly impressed him the most about Marvel Strike Force is the number of players that play the game for 365 days in a row. So if you're a free-to-play player and you want to make a point and you want to do something that will matter to the people above Marvel Strike Force, the Scopely CEOs and things like that, take a day off from the game. Maybe organize with a whole bunch of free-to-play players to take a day off a game. That will send red flags galore, more so than a spending strike, more so than trying to downvote the Apple Store or the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. So, and if you want to have a voice and you're a free-to-play player, I suggest looking into that. I think that is something that will be effective. All right, let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.